Indianapolis, the racing capital of the world. Since 1909, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway has been the undisputed pinnacle of the racing world. This is the place where legends are made and hearts are broken. This is the one race everyone wants to win. For the first time in its 54-year history, the SCCA National Championship Runoffs travels to Indianapolis. With nearly 1,000 entries in 28 different classes, the Runoffs is the biggest auto race in the world. It features the best amateur drivers in the country vying for the title of national champion. One legendary track, one epic race, one shot at glory. The SCCA Runoffs starts now.
And we welcome you back live to the SCCA National Championship Runoffs for 2017 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Alongside Dorsey Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin, Hayward Wagner on pit road to wrap things up on Saturday, day 2 of our 3-day weekend to mark this 54th running of the Runoffs. Dorsey, we've got a combined event, Prototype 1 and Formula B running together. The P1 cars will start first. It'll be a split start, but the speeds are pretty even, or lap times anyway, pretty even in these two classes.
Well, the prototype cars are extremely high downforce. The highest downforce are the fastest cars we'll see, but they have very small engines, 1-liter engine. Actually, I'm sorry about that. Formula B has the 1-liter engine. It's an open-wheel car versus, of course, a prototype with fenders on it. They're extremely lightweight, both cases. They're extremely fast in both cases. And it should be an interesting pairing.
Certainly should, and we're looking forward to seeing these two cars. They will run a split start, as we've had here several times today. Earlier in the day, we had one of those with a couple of Formula classes. Formula Mazda lining up behind one of the other classes earlier on, the Formula F cars that we saw earlier in the day here. Take a look at your Mazda track map, Dors. 2.6 miles around here, 14 turns.
We've been talking about the entire weekend how huge the front straightaway is at 3,700 feet. That won't make a big difference to these cars. What will make a difference is the infield, which we've said is flat, very little grip, very, very tight, long ratio corners. You see segment 1 leads onto the back straightaway down into turn 7, which is the second longest straightaway and the second best place to pass. And then you go through the second segment, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those are the S's. These cars have huge downforce. They're agile. They're going to be really fast. In fact, on the infield, these will be the fastest cars we'll see all weekend. The third segment runs from turn 11, a little chicane, if you will, at 12 and 13. Then you come back up on the straightaway. The fastest cars available on the infield are the cars we'll be seeing right now.
And you're talking, we've discussed lap times here throughout the course of our coverage this weekend. We've seen cars that ran kind of a 2-minute lap here. We've seen cars that ran laps around the 145 to 150 range, which is what we just had in Touring 2. Now we're down around 130.
130, and it's all on that infield. Like I say, it's not going to be straightaway speed. They don't achieve a huge top-end number. We're not going to see 200 mile an hour, but what you're going to see is cornering speeds on the infield that are so much faster than what we've been watching. It's unbelievable.
So it ought to be quite a battle here, and we've got almost 40 cars when you combine the two categories. In Prototype 1, we've got our defending national champion, Jim Davenport from Modesto, California. That's a Honda-powered Norma. He'll start first there. And in Formula B, a Californian as well, you've got Gary Hickman in the 76 car. That's the Edge Engineering Phoenix chassis with a 1-liter Suzuki motorcycle engine. These are motorcycle engine cars in Formula B. Let's get an update as the field starts to roll off the pre-grid. Here's Hayward Wagner on pit road.
These classes qualified together as well. They always qualified late in the day in similar conditions to these, but those qualifying sessions were only about 15 minutes. Now, if you can trust qualifying, Davenport seems to be the class of the P1 field, and Mayer and Hickman are going to have a great battle in Formula B. But these are high-strung, very fast cars, and there tend to be little mistakes tend to become big mistakes pretty quickly, as Alex Mayer learned last year at Mid-Ohio. So this could be a very wild race, particularly in the Formula B category.
Certainly should be. We've enjoyed watching these cars in action over the last several seasons. Our coverage of these runoffs, Dorsey, we talked about it at the top of the day yesterday. You and I have been doing this together for, I guess, off and on 20-some years now. And Jeff and Greg, same situation. And we should be looking forward to some exciting action. But we've got trouble here, it looks like, on pit road. Two-stroke going by with some smoke showing there. Maybe everything's okay. Hopefully it is. So we'll see.
If there's a downside to this class, it is in fact that they are extremely brittle. They're brittle because they have to be built to such a light weight to be competitive that these cars weigh the same, they weigh less than a Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
These are motorcycle weight cars. You're talking about with the driver in it, 1,000 pounds. Most of them running a motorcycle engine of 1 liter capacity, at least in the Formula B category they are. That being said, everything's got to be built so frail, so small, so light. Now, Indy's smooth. They cannot hit curbs. If they hit that curb in turn 1 that we've been talking about, well, that's going to tear a corner off.
And as we said, a lot of cars in this starting lineup here. Your grid, as we started to talk about, we were trying to run through it for you here, but we will at the top of your screen. Mazda presenting your scoring strip at the top of your screen. Keep track of your favorite car and driver. Davenport on pole in the 23. Alongside him, Todd Slusher from Las Vegas in the 82 car. That's the Cabo Wabo Elan DPO2 Mazda. And some of these cars are, for all intents and purposes, what used to be currently called the Prototype Challenge machines in IMSA, powered by Mazda. Prototype Lights cars, very similar to these cars, the way they're laid out in a lot of cases here. Jonathan Erickson starts third in the 7 car. He's from New York. That's the green trucking store chassis Suzuki-powered machine in Prototype 1. Tim Day starting 4th in his machine from Scottsdale, Arizona. That's a store. WF1 is the chassis designation with a Suzuki engine as well. Keith Carter lines up 5th in the 01 from Ontario, Canada. The P1 Marketing Store BMW powered car. 94 car is 6th. Daryl Schaff is that machine, and we've got one car in some trouble here already.
Down on the pace lap.
Wow.
Yeah, he pulled off over there.
Now that may necessitate no start this time by, because he's not, I would say, quite in a safe area there.
Yeah, I looked up, and that's a 63 car.
That's Jim Downing's machine.
It's Jim Downing.
Wow.
And we've known Jim forever and ever out of the Atlanta area.
Yep. And that's the Downing Atlantic Peach chassis, Mazda-powered machine. And Jim builds his own cars, or historically has done that.
Yeah,
so,
he does, for sure.
That's one of his creations there. Daryl Schaff of the 94 scheduled to go 6th. Johnny Creen from Hawaii going 7th, and the Morrison's Rogue River Adventures Dauntless Store Suzuki.
He's my neighbor down there in the motorhome park.
There you go. Make that a Kawasaki-powered car for Johnny Creen. Downing was scheduled to start 8th in the 63. Greg Bell 9th in the 43 from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. The Door Company Store Suzuki. Greg Bell in 9th in the 43, and Jason Miller 10th in the 0 from Elkhart Lake, and the Kohler Millennium Win-First Kohler-powered car.
And that was a car, I'm sure, that was smoking so heavily as they run that 2-cycle, and these guys forming up now to get ready to go for a start.
Looks like we'll go, and we'll take a look at the Formula B top 10 for you as well. Even though Downing's car was dead stick there on the backstretch, and the yellow being shown and the green being waved, so we'll call it a local yellow. And here we go in Prototype 1. They're 5 wide already.
And straightaway speed, not their forte. Cornering speed, my God, are they fast.
Davenport in the 23. That's one of the black cars with the red trim. He's got a Challenger on the outside, though. And a good battle right off the bat. There's Davenport, the defending national champ, settling into 2nd spot here.
One thing about it, with the amount of downforce these cars make, the tires are cold right now, and they're not up to pressure. Here's the Formula B start, all single-seat, open-wheel cars.
Gary Hickman in the 76, Alex Mayer in the 77, your lead row, but a lot of shuffling for position already down into 1 here.
I'd say so.
They go 2 and 3 wide through the first couple of corners. The 77, that's the car of Alex Mayer from Pennsylvania, the JDR Suzuki.
Now, these cars don't have as much downforce, but they're so light that they have an incredible potential power-to-weight ratio. These motorcycle 1-liters put out over 200, or nearly 200 horsepower, I should say.
Hickman out in front, the 00 car of Jeremy Hill in 3rd spot right now behind Meyer. What Hayward was referencing earlier, Meyer got in trouble on lap 1 after setting a track record and qualifying a year ago at Mid-Ohio, and didn't see the completion of the first couple of laps there.
A slow car in the middle of the field trying to get his way out of the way, and does so, gets to the inside finally.
The 5 car of Glenn Cooper from Roswell, Georgia, very much in the mix here in the early going. Lap number 1 of 40 minutes by time, but the speeds these cars run, the lap times around 135 or so. We shouldn't have any problem, barring some full course yellow laps, of getting all 19 on the board here pretty quickly.
And you'll recognize right away that these motorcycle engines are turning huge RPM, Formula 1 RPM, 15,000 plus. Unfortunately, it comes as a price. You can take a stock like Hayabusa motor, and you can run that, and that's going to put out about 30 horsepower less than if you modify the motor. The difference is that in stock trim, it's pretty reliable. The extra 30 horsepower costs you reliability.
There's your defending champion in this category, Davenport, in that Honda-powered 23 car. What happened on the start, it was Tim Day from Scottsdale, Arizona in the 8 car who got the drop on Davenport and the rest of the field. Day starting 4th. He grabbed the lead going down into turn 1, and he is starting to pull away just a little bit. 3rd belongs to Todd Slusher in P1.
These cars in their day were called D sports racers, and they were mostly home-built cars. Very lightweight's always been the nature of the beast. But those home-built cars fell way to these, which are extremely sophisticated. These are technology-wise at the very top of their game.
Good battle for position a little further back in the P1 field here. The 43 car, Greg Bell, sitting 4th right now.
Not inexpensive either, by the way.
Not at all. And these are not low-maintenance race cars.
No, they're
either.
high-maintenance race cars. You're stressing every little piece. You're making each piece as light as it can possibly be, and you're stressing it beyond what it was designed to do for most cases.
The 0 of Jason Miller on the move here back in the field, back around 4th, 5th, 6th position as we knock off our first 2 laps already. 4th position, the 43 of Bell under attack. He's 4th. Miller to the inside.
Miller, of course, from up in Kohler, Wisconsin. That's a Kohler power plant. It's a 6-cylinder with little bitty tiny pistons, 2-cycle. That's the one that smokes intentionally, and it's a modular motor. You can actually bolt on to the end of the motor, make an 8-cylinder or a 10-cylinder or 12. You just keep adding crankshafts and cylinders to it.
Well, Miller on fire here early, figuratively, started in 10th spot, and he's all the way up to 5th after a couple of laps. Look at this battle for position. Bell in the 43. He's got his hands full right now.
That engine makes tremendous horsepower. It has had reliability engine problems over the years. But one of the cool things about it, if you ever get a look at the back of it, there's 6 little pea shooter exhaust pipes coming out the back of it. It's like a motorcycle with an expansion chamber. Well, it's a 6-cylinder, so each cylinder has its own exhaust. And it looks quite Calliope-like.
Prototype 1 cars on the move. Here come some of the machines in Formula B. Some of the slower P1 cars already under attack from the front runners.
They are
in Formula B here.
Again, the whole premise is to build the lightest possible car. You're limited on engine size, so the lighter you can make the car, the more power to weight ratio you're going to end up with ultimately.
Gary Hickman in the 76 is your early leader here, but he's under attack. Alex Mayer in the 77 car right behind him. And trouble for the 6.
No contact with anything, but he's had a simple spin and he's continued on, kept the engine running.
That's Jim Hallman.
Oh, another one off. That's a Formula B car.
Jim Hallman in the 6, that Prototype 1 car. Mayer briefly off into the grass, but he's able to get back up onto the racetrack and maintain 2nd spot here. As we work 3 laps complete, starting lap number 4.
It's funny to watch the mechanics work on these cars.
Yeah.
You're used to jack stands and all that. They just pick it up. There's one guy
kind of like a go-kart.
Yeah, one guy exactly like a go-kart, and they have a little stand, and you just pick it up and stand up there.
Makes perfect sense. Lightweight race car. There's the 00. This is a Formula B machine. Jeremy Hill out of Toronto. That's a Photon Suzuki-powered car. We're told he's considered the father of Formula B in a lot of ways.
Well, back when Formula Continental or Formula C, which we did earlier, we ran that earlier, those cars started running motorcycle drive gear some years back. And from that, it just developed and went forward to the point that Formula B was based with a motorcycle engine intentionally and motorcycle weight. Like I say, a Harley Davidson is over 1,000 pounds. Well, these cars, that's what they weigh in at.
Yeah. Formula B, the 00 of Hill in 3rd spot right now in front of Glenn Cooper. Jeremy Hill with a little bit of a wiggle there coming out of the corner. But you get a sense of how quick the cornering speeds are for these cars. I think by eye you can see it.
Yeah, they don't slow up for anything. You just wide open and carry momentum everywhere.
Hill up in 19th overall. There's the 5 car on the move. We talked about Glenn Cooper running 3rd right now in Formula B.
And he clouded the curb a little bit. You see, these guys are not using the curb. You just cannot do it to the car. The cars are built really, really light. So you start slamming curbs, you're going to do damage.
Hickman and Mayer 1-2 in Formula B. Then it's Hill in third position. Cooper in the 5 and 4th. Kevin Rogenbuck, who's been doing this a long time, sitting in 5th in Formula B. Meantime, up in front, the P1 cars.
Really expensive cars, because you have to you design the car and you go to a wind tunnel. These cars have got to make huge downforce, and they've got to be as slippery as possible, because any drag factor, any coefficient of drag against that small engine displacement kills you.
P1 machines on the backside of the course here. There's the 43 of Bell. He is 5th. Trying to hold on against Daryl Schaff in the 94.
Interesting study. Look at the rear wings on these cars. Instead of being up above the car and trying to get all the ground, they're down. They're below the bodywork at the back, and they're extended. Of course, extending
spin.
them.
That one sideways coming out of the corner. Oh, contact. Jason Miller in the 0. That's a hard hit.
Oh, that's a bad deal. Miller got collected.
And the 35 car in trouble.
And these cars are too frail. They will not. There's an exhaust pipe I was talking about.
Yeah. Johnny Crean from Hawaii, the 35 car. There it is. Crean got sideways. Miller was right there. Didn't see him. Nothing he could do about it really anyway.
That was wrong place, right time. And like I say, these cars are not built to take a hit like that.
There is some debris on the course. The 49 car on pit road as well. So he's got a problem early on here, and that will shuffle things up even further in the field as timing and scoring catches up. Meantime, we did not see it, but the lead has changed hands. Jim Davenport in that Honda Power 23 has taken the lead away from Tim Day, and we said that Day started 4th. He got the drop on Davenport and the rest of the field going into turn 1 at the start. Davenport's come back and taken the top spot, and Mayer in the 77 car, who had that problem a year ago, he's taken over the lead in Formula B.
He's got by Hickman now and is running clean and free.
I'm surprised the 76 shuffled back to second. Yeah, I thought with the debris there we'd see a yellow.
Well, both cars continued on. I know they're hurt. You could see for sure that Miller's car had the wing knocked off of it.
Yeah.
So it's going to come onto pit lane, but it didn't bring out the caution.
Well, certainly crews will be telling teams you've got to watch it in that area, because there was a lot of body parts flying around, a lot of body work, shrapnel kind of over there. And these, again, you talk about lightweight race cars. Racing tires don't like debris as a general rule.
And the car can't take a hit either. They're really lightweight bodies, and they won't take they're not built for punishment for sure.
There's the 76 of your second place car in Formula B. Gary Hickman right now behind Alex Mayer. There's Mayer, your leader, in the white car with the blue trim.
Now, not only do these cars run motorcycle engine, but they also usually use the motorcycle gearbox as well, which means that their drive line to the rear is interesting, because, you know, motorcycles being chain drive, driving just one set of axle or one axle at the back, they have to, there's different ways of accomplishing that. Some guys do use chain drive. You know, or belt drive, if you will, mostly belt now, lighter.
And fairly simple from an engineering standpoint.
Yep, but making the cars get down to their weight, you know, and have the aerodynamics that they need. You know, you have to go to a wind tunnel. You have to have a real aerodynamicist and an engineer. It's amazing, and to make them that light, there's no doubt that everything's got to be carbon, tube frame. You know, everything has got to be at the lightest possible alloys or composites, available composites, really.
And here comes the 76 now coming back. Hickman trying to reel in Alex Mayer, your race leader. And talking about how these cars get built, some of them are one-off chassis. Mayer from Harleysville, Pennsylvania, the JDR race car Suzuki. You can tell the different approaches. I mean, that's a much lower car with bigger side pods than the car chasing them, the 76. And it looks like he is about to make a move for the lead here. We've got potentially a lead change coming up. Hickman right on the back tailpipes there of Mayer, if you will. Hayward Wagner.
Yeah, guys, you were just talking about the challenges of the transmission in some of these cars, and the 25 car just came in, and that's exactly the struggle. They couldn't get the selector on the steering column to work with the transmission, so their day is done.
Tough break indeed.
You know, you look at a common current race car configuration nowadays is a paddle shifter with a non-interrupt.
Yeah.
That's all electronically controlled. Some of these guys still have a regular paddle shift, but it's a linkage.
It's a motorcycle.
It's a motorcycle linkage. Yeah, absolutely. And in the case of the Formula B, look at the front wing shutter there. Yeah. They cannot be, the frame itself, or the chassis itself has got to be tube frame. You can't go and build a
can't be a tub car,
you can't be a carbon car. Yeah. But in the case of the P1s, they are full carbon. So, I mean, it's a difference in the class. They run similar lap times.
Yeah.
And they have the similar characteristics. But, of course, single-seat car, lower tech compared to what these P1 cars are.
Working lap 8 of 19 today. The combined show, Prototype 1 and Formula B to close out day number 2 of the 2017 SCCA National Championship runoffs at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Up onto the backstretch here. Good battle for the lead in Formula B. Alex Mayer took it away from Gary Hickman several laps ago. Hickman's quicker in some parts of this course. He's able to close right in on Mayer in this part of the racetrack.
Well, we saw that wing chattering around before, too. That's not, and there's one of the issues that we talk about. That looks like a blown engine.
Don't see any fluid trailing, but the smoke would tell you that engine's
it's on fire.
Yeah, indeed.
Big fire right behind the driver, and he needs to get out of there right now.
He has thrown the wheel, pulled the belts quickly.
And I think he's hit the fire bottle, too.
Yeah, I think the fire has been extinguished, which is certainly good news. These are not easy cars to get in and out of if you're a bigger framed person.
Like I say, some of these Hayabusa motors are running upward of 15,000 revs.
That was the 14 car in FB, getting in some trouble there with apparently a mechanical issue. Jose Gerardo in the 14 out of action here. In the meantime, your overall leader, your P1 leader, defending champ James Davenport from California, the 23. Took him a while to get back to the lead after Todd Day and the other machine that got the drop on him going down into turn 1. Tim Day in the 8 car was your early leader, but Davenport got around him and has set sail in that 23. Not quite to halfway in our final event of day number 2 here at Indy. We'll take a break at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Right back with more of the 2017 SCCA runoffs.
Coverage of the SCCA National Championship runoffs is presented by Mazda. Driving matters.
Can you feel something without touching it? See something with your eyes closed. When everything is designed around you, the driver, you can. The Mazda 3.
Every stitch is a part of me. All these shapes and designs express our devotion to craftsmanship. I want people to feel our passion when they touch it and when they drive it.
The all-new Mazda CX-5.
Back live at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, coverage of P1 and Formula B, and some jockeying for action and position here for the lead in Formula B. Alex Mayer in the 77 had taken the top spot from the 76 of Gary Hickman a while ago. Looked like Hickman had a thought of trying to make an inside move as they went into turn 1 and some lap traffic there.
Yellow flag out there in that corner, too. I don't see the reason for it. There's the reason for it. We got cars all over the place. We've got trucks all over the place taking care of a car that's on the outside.
A few moments ago while we were away, yeah, take a look at this traffic jam, rush hour here on the backstretch.
Wow, 3, 4 wide. Everybody trying to be, behave, but.
And that's what you get sometimes in this combined class racing that we have. You have back markers in the midst of things. You have guys off the pace for various reasons. And boy, you've got to navigate traffic here when you've got 36, 38 cars on the racetrack at the same time.
I saw that wing on that one Formula B car flopping around. Now that's Mayer's car that's got the wing flopping, but this P1 car is holding these Formula Bs up.
Yeah.
A lot. But watch the straightaway speed.
Hickman has to drag the brakes. He gets into the back end of Mayer.
He gets into the back of him pretty heavily.
Wow, he had to lock him up there.
Now he does that. These are lightweight cars. Maybe it didn't flat spot. I don't know yet. We'll have to look at that. But that was an avoidance.
Take another look here. That's the P1 car on the outside. Mayer
and he's
slowing down, and Hickman realized he was going to torpedo him in the deck lid in the back bumper area.
I'll tell you what, that was some good driving right there. That was about to be.
Wow, and the 27 car's got a problem.
Yeah, I saw the smoke last lap, too. I'm not sure yet where that's coming from, but I did see it as it went into turn 1. It was smoking last lap.
Mayer and Hickman putting on a great battle here for the lead.
God, those tires got to be
Formula
square.
B. Wow, absolutely.
They are. Look at that right there. You see it lock up. What happens when you square spot a tire, when you flat spot a tire, is when you start to brake hard, it goes.
Oh, the 23 of Davenport, the race leader. Davenport, the defending champion's gone around. Take a look at this.
Is he going to get help? No, on his own.
Oh, he locked it. He missed the corner. He knew he had another car to the inside.
Overshoots turn one and then gets
down in the grass.
Too much on the throttle. Yeah.
The change of surface from grass to rumble strip to asphalt, and Jim Davenport's bid to repeat his national championship appears to be over with 8 laps to go here at Indy.
Boy.
He has lost a ton of time in track position.
It's falling apart here at the end. We got wings falling off, cars spinning, wrecking.
Davenport trying to get back up to speed here as he comes off the final corner. We'll see what timing and scoring has to say in this one. Tim Day has reassumed the lead in the 8, and Davenport shown 6th, so he lost 5 spots in that incident.
Didn't look like he flat spotted tires, though. One thing about it was when he got turned around, he didn't keep the brake locked up.
Working lap 12 of 19. We'll see if Jim Davenport can put together a great drive. He's clearly the fastest car on the racetrack here.
Well, he's going to need it.
Don't know if he's got enough of a speed advantage to be able to make that time back up. Wow. Stunning turn of events.
And these cars make their speed in different areas. The P1 cars are far faster in a straight line than the FB cars. The FB cars are pretty good in the corner.
So there is the 8 car of Tim Day, your Prototype 1 category leader here. Takes the lead back after Davenport gets into trouble in the 23. So Day out there, he'll get lap number 12 on the board. Next time by, there'll be 7 to go. And Day crosses the start-finish stripe in a couple of moments.
Big chunk of rubber was bouncing down the track there. In these cars, that can affect you too. I mean, some of those chunks of rubber are baseball size, and you're sitting there with your helmet out exposed.
Yeah. Alex Mayer in the 77, Gary Hickman in the 76. This has been a great nose-to-tail battle for honors here in Formula B almost since the start, and now they are 8th and 9th overall in this one. So many of the cars, the P1 cars and the FB cars, have had problems. We've got a strong intermix of these two classes at this point.
And watch the P1 car on the straightaway. It'll just clock these FBs, but then it'll be in the way when they get to the brake zone.
And that's sort of what happened to Davenport a lap ago. He got down into this corner, heading back to the S's that lead you out onto the front straightaway here at Indy, and he just went too wide.
Yeah. You know, the car's way different. Their characteristics are totally different. The P1 cars have good straightaway speed, but not the cornering speed of an FB. And the FBs stall out. They just don't. Look at that wing. See that wing?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's
Alex Meyer's car, you can tell how lightweight that is, that the wind will move it that much.
And if it breaks, it's going to go under the front tires and lock the front tires up, and he's going to have a problem.
Davenport, meantime, in the 23, trying to make up some ground here. 3 seconds a lap quicker Davenport is than everybody else in the field, but does he have enough time with 7 laps to go?
Well, that's a lot. So it's 20 seconds.
He'd make up a 20-second deficit, but the deficit, I think, for him right now is, well, it's 20.4 seconds last time by. He got himself back up to 5th in the last lap.
And then, you know, can he sustain that type of speed without making a mistake?
Well, he's driving motivated, I would say.
Oh, yeah, he's motivated.
As the defending champion. Honda-powered race car. Norma chassis. And Davenport into the twisties here to get back up onto the front straightaway and put lap 14 on the board. Tim Day, the leader. Jonathan Erickson in the 7 car runs second. Darrell Schaff in the 94 is third. Then Greg Bell in the 43. And here's Davenport in the 23 car, and Davenport's picked up a spot. I was going to say it looked like he passed Bell, and he has. He's up to 4th once again, and the gap back to Darrell Schaff about 6.5 seconds right now.
He'll get that for sure.
So he might be able to get back to a podium. He's got 6 laps here to try to make some hay. If he could get back to 3rd, that would be a great recovery after what could have been a disastrous incident.
You just got to wonder, you know, can he sustain this pace, which is amazing, and can the car hold up?
Well, Davenport is great in these prototype races. He has won, as we say, the last year's national championship here in P1, trying to make it a back-to-back claim of gold. This time at Indy.
New leader in FB.
Yeah, Mayer has given up the point here and comes right back at the 76 of Hickman. They swap the lead back and forth. Traffic a factor, no doubt about it.
And these guys really, really cutting some numbers right now.
8th and 9th overall. moving by a lapped car, one of the lapped P1 machines.
These would be fun cars to drive.
Yes. For maybe 5 laps. I'd be falling out of the seat after a couple of laps.
Yeah, it's like a go-kart. You're right. You would be. I would be too. And we're both too big to get in the damn thing.
You weren't supposed to say that.
Well,
Come on now.
I'm honest.
You're speaking the truth. You are. I know. All right, a backside of the racetrack here. Mayer continues to lead. Hickman right up. I'm not so sure that Hickman's not better in this part of the racetrack.
Well, we got loose right there. Could be better. I mean, the setup on these cars, they do have adjustable aero. And depending on how they decided they wanted their car to feel.
Yeah. Mayer certainly quicker on the front stretch and in other parts of the racetrack. Backstretch too, probably. But Hickman able to get right up on him here.
Cars are pretty slippery. You can see that. You want to reduce drag as much as humanly possible, reduce weight down to the minimum. It's reliant on that to be fast.
Mayer and Hickman 1-2 for the Formula B National Championship. P1, meantime, what about Jim Davenport, the 23 car? Well, he's flying, but he's still 4th. Mayer tucks into turn 1. Hickman right behind him.
Good show they're putting on, for sure.
Oh, for sure, no doubt. Swapping the lead a couple of times here in this one. Meantime, in Prototype 2, it's O'Day Jr. in the 8 car out in front. Erickson in the 7 right behind him. That's the blue machine. 1 and 2, and the last time by, the gap was 0.8 of a second, and he forces an error by Day. Erickson will take over the lead in P1. Day back up on the racetrack. He coughs up the lead with a mistake going down into the grass.
And loses a lot of ground. I don't see he can make that back up in 4 laps to go when they hit the line. We'll see, though.
15 complete, 4 to go. 19 laps our distance.
Is one thing, but cleaning the crap off the tires, that's the next thing. You
that's
get all
a chore.
That pickup.
And the tires are way heated up now.
Yeah,
I mean, they'll pick up anything at
and
this point.
And they don't weigh that much. Ooh, dive bomb into 1.
The 23 car of Davenport trying to make a move.
He's got to watch doing that. He could have collected that Formula B car really easily by cutting in like that. He took his radius away. Yellow flag here in this corner.
Trying to get close to Daryl Schaff and at least salvage a podium.
Somebody in the gravel trap over there.
Yeah, one of the Formula B cars in the kitty litter there. Look at Davenport just fly around the outside of these Formula B machines.
And that's one thing you can do when you have big ground effects and downforce. You can go places on the racetrack where
the car spins and a hard impact.
That's going to bring a caution out for sure.
Big hit at the entrance to the backstretch. We had a car spin right in the path of another vehicle. Davenport will take advantage here in the 23. We stay green there. Here's another look at the wreck coming out of the backstretch.
Really bad spot to get hit.
There's the spin.
Too. Well, luckily it hit on the left front. As long as he let go of the steering wheel, he might be all right. But I mean, I thought it hit more toward the center.
Not much that either of these drivers could do. That could be a full course yellow.
Yeah, and it's 4 to go. It could end that way, too.
Yes, it could. It very much might. Davenport's drive to get back to the front may be done here.
Here's yellow local.
Double yellow flags out. Full course yellow.
All that carbon stuff out there is like razor blades.
Yeah, the debris out there is going to be extensive. So with 3 laps left, that may be the end of our final race of the day. We will see.
He's still in the car.
Visors up, though, so that's a good sign. That's the 49 car, I do believe, that's involved there.
That was a vicious hit. I mean, that was a big old hit.
So we are under yellow as we complete 16 laps for the leaders here today. 3 to go. Davenport is up to 3rd. He got by Bell. Mayer and Hickman, this one may end under yellow, and Alex Mayer probably will be a happy guy if that's the case, because he's had his hands full with Hickman all race long.
We passed by the 3 to go. That, of course, safety right now is the concern over all other things. These guys will slow down the pace car speed. There's no passing since it's full course yellow. The field is frozen. I don't know what this is about. One of the cars going by, the pace car, actually got waved by.
I don't think there's a wave around rule here, is there? I don't think so. No, the safety car's out. Trying to pick up Jonathan Erickson, I would imagine, as our overall leader in the 7 car. Tim Day in the 8 in 2nd spot. And then Davenport in the 23 would be 3rd for the restart if we get a restart.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. There's still There's red
stop
flag.
the
That's
field
it.
here. Wow. It's the last race of the day. So they have the option, certainly, to put out the red flag, stop the field right here, and give the drivers a chance to run 2 more laps to settle this.
Yeah, they could do that. They got to, first of all, like I say, what they're doing is getting attention to the car
Yeah.
and the driver out there.
Again, that happened over on the backside of the racetrack here at Indy.
Since we have nothing following this, and we're at Indianapolis, I don't think we're time certain. I think we can go and do what we got to do.
Exactly.
To get this to finish.
Turn 6A is where that incident happened as the field stops behind the safety car out on the course.
Now, here's the deal. They'll end up, these are motorcycle engines, most of them. They'll end up having to sooner than later, shut these engines off. And they have a little bitty old motorcycle battery that starts these with a jumper cable usually. Will they start when needed to start is a question. And you see corner workers coming up to. Oh, no. I'm not sure that they won't stop it this way.
We're showing 16 complete of 19 laps scheduled, and with the red flag, you would think we would get to run these last 3 laps. Hayward Wagner, what can you tell us about our situation here?
Guys, I suspect that part of the decision to throw the red was to give some more time to make a decision. But looking at the start stand right now, the checker flag is being held out over the banister. So the expectation at this moment is that we are going to see a checker if they come back by again.
Well, even if they don't come back by, what they would do if they call it that way is they'll go back to the last timed lap complete, and they will score off of that. Which is the only decision that they can fairly do, because things will have happened all the way around the race course that you can't control.
And the rules, again, if you're not familiar with SCCA club racing, the way it's conducted, it's not the same in a lot of ways as we see in pro racing, where you might have the opportunity, the decision might be made, hey, we want the spectators to get a show here, we're going to stop the race and run the last few laps no matter what. Not sure that that's what we'll end up doing here today. And it's one of these things, Doris, I've had this conversation with fans many times over the many years we've been doing this. Just when you think you've seen everything, you say, wow, did you see that?
So here's the problem they have right now. Well, they red flagged it, first of all, so that's stopping the race. So that's the last timed lap. Secondary to that, if they decided they did want to run it again or do over a couple laps, will these cars start?
Yeah.
If they don't start, then what provision will they do to get them to start? We're going to run out of time at some point.
Yeah.
And of course, we're still not. There's just this group of cars is not all the cars. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more complex than just saying, okay, let's do this again.
So part of the field stopped behind the safety car, and this looks as though you're coming off the last couple of corners here, which would be 13 and 14, toward the front straightaway. I believe that's the 7 car we're seeing of Jonathan Erickson, shown as the race leader and the P1 race leader. And behind him, Tim Day Jr. in the 8 car, who is being shown second right now. Day had been leading after Davenport had his spin and off a couple of laps previously. Hayward Wagner, what else are you hearing down there?
Guys, we're seeing that the crew getting together to do the victory circle and medals for both of these race groups. Our understanding down here is that we are reverting back to the last race lap scoring.
Makes sense, yeah. Of course, what he's saying there is that they're going to, they've stopped the race. They're going to go back to the last scored lap and complete the race at that point. And these guys will go back to the paddock or go to victory lane, the ones that need to be there.
And the safety car telling the field, let's fire up and roll. So Erickson, if that's the decision, then Erickson will be your champion in P1 this year. And Day Jr.
Second place car is not rolling, so it's not.
Yeah.
And I would suspect this. It's not going to be as easy as just let's try this again.
Day would end up second. Davenport would end up third and get a podium spot out of this. Greg Bell and Todd Slusher would be the rest of your top 5 in P1. Formula B would be Alex Mayer, your winner. Gary Hickman in second. And Jeremy Hill rounding out the top 3 in Formula B at this point, if in fact this race is considered complete.
I think they'll bring them down to pit lane now, more than likely come on pit lane and complete it. But it'll go back to that scored lap. Yeah, they're going right on pit lane. Which is the right thing to do. I mean, because we haven't cleaned up the crash site yet. I'm sure we haven't seen it, but I'm sure there's ongoing dramas there to deal with.
Not an easy cleanup, certainly, when you have a hard impact like that and you have a carbon fiber that gets sprayed around from the impact. It can take a while to sort all that out and clean it all up. So we trust that everyone is okay. Safety always the first consideration of all of the folks involved with staging these SCCA National Championship runoffs. Our first concern as well. So we did see one of the drivers involved had the visor up over there. We did have a camera shot a few moments ago of one of the cars stopped on track and the track safety crew there to help them. Corvette safety car is out on the track, but the Camaro safety car has brought these cars in the field onto pit lane, and it looks as though we may, in fact, be seeing the conclusion of P1 and Formula B here today. So that indeed looks as though the call has been made. Jonathan Erickson, it looks like, will pick up the gold medal honors in P1 over Tim Day and Jim Davenport. And then in Formula B, Alex Mayer will be your winner over Gary Hickman in the 76, the 77, the 76 car. Jeremy Hill in the 00. Hayward Wagner getting set to talk to our champion in Prototype 1. And we'll do that just as soon as Jonathan Erickson gets the gloves and the helmet off, Hans device unplugged and so forth, so that we can have that discussion and hear from Jonathan Erickson exactly how things went out there in his run to victory in P1. Hayward, it's all yours.
Jonathan Erickson, this one played out just like you drew it up, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, sure. No, it was a good race. So,
talk to me about your run to the front. A couple of cars had challenges, but you made a few passes to get there.
yeah, I got a small motor, so I can't win the drag races, so I got to keep my momentum up in the corners and just hope for other guys to make mistakes, and that's what happened. Close the gap.
Well, big congratulations to you on a runoffs win.
Thank you very much.
All right, the thoughts of Jonathan Erickson, your champion in Prototype 1 today here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Erickson, your winner. Day Jr. in second. Davenport, the defending champ, has to settle for third in front of Bell and Slusher. Alistair McEwen is sixth. Chip Romer in the 27. Kirk Kinsfader in the 32. Jim Hallman in the 6. And Daryl Schaff in the 94 gets credit for 10th position. So interesting battle certainly in P1, and no doubt about it, the 23 car of Davenport, the fastest car in the place, but just circumstances made that mistake, didn't have enough time to recover. I think if we'd had a restart, Davenport would have been the guy to beat, no question, because of the speed advantage.
And the fact that we would have resumed nose to tail, and,
Yeah.
and with his speed advantage, he would have clocked the field pretty quickly.
Yeah, it certainly did look that way, but the contact on lap 16 over turn 6, causing the red flag, and then the officials deciding to bring this one to a conclusion to wrap up day number 2. All right, let's find out more about our top finishers in this final race of the day. Back to Hayward.
Tim Day Jr., a nice collection of neckwear you have there. The silver medal and the Hoosier. Talk a little bit about this race.
I was very nervous before this race, and I got a great start, got the lead. I knew Jim was coming with a head of steam, and it took him a number of laps. He's got those big wide tires. He's got to get them up to heat, and he's eventually able to slip by me. And then it's just a matter of holding on to position at that point in time. And unfortunately, the track conditions continued to worsen, and we kept losing grip. And I think that's what caused Mr. Davenport to spin. And so I regained the lead. And so that part was very exciting. But Mr. Erickson was basically starting to really bridge the gap. There was a substantial gap at first, but he was starting to really bridge it. And then I cooked it in 13, and I put all 4 off. And unfortunately, I never got a shot to fight for him with the lead after that. So really exciting race. I'm really happy with the results. I'm really proud of the team, Bulldog Motorsports. They've only run this car twice, and I think they've done a pretty good job of it. So we've had a lot of issues. We had a fire, burned up the wiring loom. Then we sucked a valve after 30 minutes of engine time, and then all sorts of challenges. So I'm really proud of the team.
Well, congratulations to you and them.
Right on, baby.
All All right, Tim Day out of Scottsdale, Arizona, finishes in the second spot in Prototype 1 here today at these SCCA National Championship runoffs. And Jim Davenport from Modesto, California, gets credit for third in his Honda-powered machine, the 23. And Davenport will be trying, I'm sure, to change that momentum next year when we see him at these SCCA runoffs. It'll be in his home territory at Sonoma Raceway.
And that's a big advantage if you run that racetrack out there a lot. Not a lot of guys will tow out to California. It's so expensive and so far to go out there. But if you're a local and know that track well, it is a monster advantage.
Jim Davenport from Modesto, that is the San Francisco region, so that certainly would be one of his home tracks out there in Sonoma. So I'm sure he's licking his chops thinking about running there in 2018, about a year from right now. So we look forward to that as well.
That was my old home track with Trans Am Tom Gloy. We were based right there at Sonoma at that racetrack. So, like I say, it's a big advantage.
Talk about layouts of racetracks. It'll be interesting to see what the course is that gets used for the runoffs, because you've got, again, a place with a couple of different versions of a road course.
Yeah, I hope they go to the old conventional, normal road course, not the NASCAR.
With the tight hairpin. And,
do it right.
The IndyCar road course is currently used. All right, Alex Mayer, your winner in Formula B, as he gets his visor up and steering wheel off. Gets ready to climb out of the 77 car. Good run for him, certainly. Good battle with the 76 of Gary Hickman. Those two come home in 10th and 11th overall here today. So Mayer did a terrific job in that car. It was a dogfight between those two. One of the most interesting parts of the battle, and not just the two different approaches to building a race car, and the fact that it appears that the cars were, each car had its strengths at different parts of the racetrack. The traffic that they had to navigate made this one a very exciting
Running
battle.
those two classes together is pretty complex. They don't necessarily complement one another. Let's put it that way.
No, for sure. Alex Mayer is your champion in the Formula B category, and he is with Hayward.
We got it.
Alex, I don't know what else we need to say.
Yeah, right? That was awesome. That race was great. Me and Gary had a great time all the way throughout. From what I know, we were within 10 cars the entire race, switching back and forth. It was awesome.
You guys had obviously a shared track with Prototype 1 a couple of times. The way that these cars are faster in different places really seemed to affect your race.
Yeah, it did. They got in lap traffic pretty soon, early in the race. Some cases they helped out, sometimes they hurt, but all in all, it was a great race.
I'm not going to say there was a lot of banging, but I asked your dad if you were worried about the front wing, and he answered me about the back wing. How'd the car feel there at the end?
The car felt pretty good all the way through the race. It stayed pretty steady. The setup was great and done by my dad and Mike Signor. And Willwood guys did a great brake setup, made me go in turn one really deep. So other than that, it was a great race.
Well, congratulations to you on the championship.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I think they're happy.
I would think so. It's quite an accomplishment to win one of these. There's no doubt about that. And Alex Mayer and his dad, they've been doing this for quite a while and have had success, no question about it. But today, they had a fight on their hands to win this championship.
It was testy. It really was. I mean, like I say, running the two classes together like that adds an element that's different that you don't have to deal with all year long.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily complement each other. It was some hard race.
Mayer, your winner. Hickman second in the 76. Hill in the 00. Glenn Cooper in the 5 car. And Joel Haas in the 93. Your top 5. Frost, Pierce, Nixon, Michael, and Hamilton. The rest of the top 10. Back to Hayward.
Gary Hickman, have you ever worked that hard in a race car?
That was a pretty difficult race. Lot going on. Oil in a key section on the track. And then there was lots of debris everywhere. Yeah, it was challenging, and traffic.
You had a pretty big lockup, and it looked like you might have gotten to the back of Alex a little bit. Did that affect your car's handling?
I did. Yeah, it did. There was oil coming into the entry of 12 and then 13, and on about, I don't know, maybe the 10th lap, I got caught in the oil over there, had to check up, and Alex got around me.
Well, sometimes that's all it is. Congratulations on the silver.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Gary Hickman, your runner-up today, silver medalist in Formula B. So an exciting day of racing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Wrapping things up. We're back tomorrow bright and early, 8:30, day number 3. Greg Creamer, Jeff Lepper will kick things off. Dorsey and I will be with you a couple of different times during the course of the day tomorrow. And we look forward to seeing the final day of action at this historic event, at this most historic venue, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 54th running of the SCCA Runoffs. First time ever here at Indy, and just a great weekend of competition. Beautiful weather, lots of smiles, some disappointed racers as well, but a great day of competition. Hope you enjoyed our coverage today. My friend, we'll see you here tomorrow.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. You know, the second day was a little harder than first. Tomorrow, it's going to be the cap off. It's going to be a big day.
That's it. Tomorrow, everybody will have all guns loaded to come out and try to win a national title here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. For Hayward Wagner, Dorsey Schrader, Greg Kramer, Jeff Lepper, our entire group here, proud to bring you coverage of these SCCA National Championship runoffs. I'm Rick Benjamin, congratulating all the winners today. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern for our final day of coverage. Have a good night, everybody.
Coverage of the SCCA National Championship runoffs is presented by Mazda. Driving matters.
Can you feel something without touching it? See something with your eyes closed. When everything is designed around you, the driver, you can. The Mazda 3.
Every stitch is a part of me. All these shapes and designs express our devotion to craftsmanship. I want people to feel our passion when they touch it and when they drive it.
The all-new Mazda CX-5.